Hong Kong, 1968, the city moves the way it always does, fast, crowded, and mostly uninterested in the dreams of any single person walking through it. The harbor is alive with ships, and the streets of Kowloon carry their own constant noise. Vendors call out, construction echoes through narrow roads, and the tight energy of a city that has never had enough space fills every corner. Instead of slowing down, Hong Kong simply learned to live with it. It is March. Early spring in Hong Kong has its own feeling. The air is warm enough that jackets are unnecessary, yet still cool enough to remind everyone that winter only recently passed. Humidity has already started its quiet return, slowly thickening the air the way it does every year. Locals accept it without thinking. Visitors rarely get used to it. On a street in Kowloon, inside a building that used to be a textile warehouse, Bruce Lee is teaching a class. The building was converted into a martial arts school with very little effort to make it look impressive. The training area takes up what was once the main storage floor of the warehouse, roughly 40 by 60 feet. The wooden floor is smooth from years of training, not worn randomly, but shaped by countless movements repeated again and again. Along the walls hang punching bags, wooden dummies, and simple training equipment arranged neatly for use. There are no decorative swords on display, no scrolls of ancient sayings, no dramatic photographs of masters posing for attention. The school looks exactly like what it is, a place where people come to train. Bruce Lee has never believed in decoration that replaces function. Everything inside the school reflects that belief, from the placement of equipment to the temperature of the room to the level of attention he expects whenever he speaks. This Tuesday morning, 28 students stand on the training floor. Their ages range from 19 to 34. Some come from traditional martial arts backgrounds: Wing Chun, Hung Gar, Northern Shaolin. One trained in Western boxing. Two previously studied karate in Japan before moving to Hong Kong. But what connects them is not a shared style. What connects them is a decision to stop learning a fixed style and start learning principles. Bruce Lee made that difference clear on the first day each student walked into the school. He explained it directly the same way he explains everything. A style is a vehicle, he told them. It takes you somewhere specific. Principles are navigation. They allow you to move wherever the situation requires. The students who stayed after hearing that explanation are the 28 standing here today. The ones who preferred the safety of a strict style chose different schools. Bruce Lee is now demonstrating an idea he often calls the economy of motion. In reality, it is less a theory and more a simple truth about movement. Power travels fastest when it covers the shortest possible distance in the least amount of time. His training partner today is a student named David Chun. David is 23 years old and once trained at a Wing Chun school in the New Territories. He has been studying under Bruce Lee for 4 months. His progress has been steady, helped by his previous training and his willingness to let go of habits that slow him down. Bruce explains that the most common mistake in martial arts happens in the small space between the intention to strike and the strike itself. Most fighters reveal their move before it arrives. That brief signal, the preparation, the shift, the tell, gives away the advantage. Bruce demonstrates it slowly. First, he shows the mistake, the visible preparation before the strike. Then he repeats the motion again, this time removing the tell entirely. The movement becomes direct, almost invisible until the moment it lands. David watches carefully, absorbing each detail. Around them, the other 27 students stand quietly along the edge of the floor. It is during this moment that the door opens. The man who walks in is named Sifu Wong Kwok-wai. He is 43 years old and has practiced Wing Chun for 26 years. For the last 14, he has run his own school in the Mung Kok district of Kowloon. His school has about 60 students, and within Hong Kong's martial arts community, which is smaller and more connected than most outsiders, realize Wong is respected as a serious practitioner. He is known for technical precision and a deep understanding of his style. Wong stands about 5 feet 10 inches tall and weighs roughly 180 pounds. His build reflects decades of demanding physical practice. His body carries the quiet strength of someone who has spent most of his life refining a single discipline. He is dressed in his school's uniform, a black kung fu jacket with black trousers. Arriving at another instructor's school dressed like this is not a casual choice. It is a statement. He has come as Sifu Wong, not as a visitor. Not as an observer. Behind him stand two of his senior students, both in their late 20s, and wearing the same black uniform. They remain near the doorway, standing quietly but watching closely. Their posture suggests they already know why they are here. Wong walks straight toward the center of the training floor without waiting for permission. Bruce Lee has stopped a demonstration. He watches the man approach with calm attention, the look of someone studying a situation carefully before responding. Wong stops about 8 feet away from him. He slowly looks around the room at the students standing along the floor. He takes his time doing this, carefully scanning the room the way a man does when he wants everyone present to notice him before he speaks. Only after that does he turn his eyes toward Bruce Lee. In Cantonese, with the calm and precise pronunciation of someone who has already chosen his words in advance, he finally speaks. "I've been hearing things about this school," he says. "People say you are teaching something new. Something better than what has been taught in Hong Kong for 300 years. He pauses briefly, letting the statement sit in the air. "So I came here to see for myself whether that is true, or whether it is simply what a young man says when he wants more students." The room becomes completely still. 28 students stand frozen in place. No one moves. David Chun, who had been in the middle of the demonstration when the door opened, remains standing exactly where he stopped, unsure what the proper reaction should be in a moment like this. Bruce Lee hasn't moved either. He simply listens until Wong finishes speaking. When Wong's words end, Bruce waits another 2 seconds before answering. The calm pause of someone who is neither surprised nor hurried. "You're welcome to watch," Bruce says calmly. His Cantonese is smooth and natural, carrying the tone of someone who grew up speaking it every day. "If you have questions afterward, I'll be happy to answer them." Wong's face remains unchanged. "I didn't come to watch," he replies. "I came to ask you directly in front of your students whether what you teach actually works against someone who has practiced seriously for 26 years, or whether it only works against beginners." Everyone in the room understands exactly what he means. This is not really a question. It is an accusation. And at the same time, it offers a solution. The accusation is simple, that Bruce Lee's methods sound interesting in theory but cannot stand up against real experience. The solution is even simpler. Tested here, now, with Wong himself as the opponent. The way he framed it is deliberate. By presenting the challenge as a question, Wong has technically given Bruce a polite way out. Bruce could answer verbally, explain his ideas, and refuse the physical test. Everyone in the room understands that choosing that option would be its own kind of answer. Bruce Lee studies Wong quietly for a moment. The way someone reads a document carefully before deciding whether to sign it, then he replies with just one word. "All right." There are no conditions. No negotiation. No explanation. Bruce simply turns toward his students and asks them to step back against the walls, clearing the center of the training floor. The 28 students move quickly and quietly. David Chen takes a place along the east wall. Wong's 2 senior students remain standing near the doorway. The center of the room becomes empty. Bruce Lee and Wong Kwok-wai now stand facing each other in the middle of the 40 by 60-foot wooden floor. Around them, 30 people watch from the edges of the room, and a heavy silence settles over the space. The kind that appears when everyone senses that something important is about to happen. Wong shifts smoothly into his Wing Chun stance. The movement is effortless, like putting on a familiar jacket. His weight is balanced. His center line is protected. His hands rest in the exact position that 26 years of daily practice have carved into his muscle memory. It is a strong stance, the stance of a genuine practitioner. Bruce Lee, however, does not take on a formal stance at all. He simply stands in a relaxed, ready position that his students recognize well, though to an outsider it might look like he is just standing casually. His weight is balanced. His hands hang loose at his sides. Nothing about his posture signals an obvious attack. To Wong, this appears to be one of two things, either extreme confidence or the inexperience of someone who has learned theory without enough real contact. He will find out soon enough. Wong makes the first move. His opening technique is a chain punch sequence, one of the defining tools of Wing Chun's close-range system. The punches travel straight along the center line in rapid succession, powered by the rotation of the hips rather than the wide arm. Movement seen in Western boxing. At close distance, the technique can deliver serious force. Wong has used it thousands of times. He has practiced it for decades. The timing is exact, the distance correct, the commitment controlled. His goal is not to injure Bruce, but to establish contact and begin the close-range exchange where Wing Chun is strongest. The punches move toward Bruce Lee's center line with the confident speed of 26 years of practice, but they never arrive. Instead, Bruce Lee moves. At the exact moment Wong commits to the attack. Bruce steps slightly to the side, only about 4 inches, just enough to move outside the path of the strike. Not an inch more. Efficiency guides every movement. It isn't a retreat, it's positioning. From that new angle, Bruce's right hand meets Wong's lead arm at the forearm. He doesn't block it with force. Instead, he redirects the arm slightly off its path, letting the momentum of Wong's punch carry it past the target. The entire motion takes less than a third of a second. During the remaining fraction of that same second, Bruce's left hand travels straight forward and touches Wong's jaw with a quick strike. Not full power, just enough contact to make the point clear. Wong feels it. Everyone in the room sees it. Wong's head shifts slightly with the impact, and he takes a step back. The room still remains silent. No one reacts yet. Wong is still standing, but his expression has changed slightly. He is processing what just happened, realizing that he was struck cleanly by someone who moved in a way he did not expect, and far faster than he had time to counter. This is new information for Wong, but he absorbs it quickly, the way a true practitioner does when encountering something unfamiliar. There is no pause to protect his pride, no moment spent pretending the strike didn't land. Experience has taught him that denial wastes time. He simply resets. His stance returns to position, but his expression is no longer the same as it was 30 seconds earlier. He is not frightened. He is not discouraged. He is recalculating. Wong tries again. This time the opening is different. He adjusts the angle of attack, choosing a technique that demands a completely different response than the one Bruce used a moment ago. It's a genuine tactical change, the kind made by someone who understands how to adapt in real time. He is not repeating what failed. He is searching for a new path. The attack is clean and well executed. Against most opponents, it would work. Even against fighters who believe in Bruce Lee's idea of interception rather than blocking, the timing should force hesitation. Wong thought about this during the brief seconds after the first exchange. He recognized what looked like a theoretical weakness in Bruce's movement, and now he is attempting to test it. Bruce Lee does not hesitate, but he also does not intercept this attack. Instead, he simply isn't there. His movement this time is different. The angle changes completely. His response looks nothing like the first exchange. That difference is the point. The principle Bruce teaches isn't a fixed technique. The principle is awareness. It is the ability to read what is actually happening in front of you rather than applying a memorized answer to a memorized question. Wong has made a smart adjustment. Bruce's response adjusts to that adjustment, staying just one step ahead of the prediction this time. Bruce's counter arrives as a low kick to Wong's lead knee. The strike is controlled. It isn't meant to injure, only to interrupt balance. At the same moment, Bruce's hand moves toward Wong's throat, stopping 2 inches short. The message is obvious to everyone watching. Wong steps back. Again, his breathing has changed slightly. Not from exhaustion, but from the nervous system processing unexpected information faster than it prefers. Experienced fighters can feel that difference. They know when the gap between their preparation and reality begins to appear, and Wong feels that gap now. This is not about conditioning. He is not tired. His spirit is not failing. The problem is deeper than that. What he is facing does not operate within the assumptions built over 26 years of practice. Those assumptions are being removed one by one, with calm and almost impersonal precision, over the next 90 seconds. Wong tries 4 more times. Each attempt is different each time. Bruce's response changes as well, not repeating a single counter, but adjusting instantly to the exact movement in front of him. The third exchange ends with Bruce's palm hovering an inch from Wong's jaw. The fourth ends when Wong briefly loses his balance after a sweep he never saw coming. Because his attention had been drawn to a hand movement designed to distract him, the fifth exchange finishes with Bruce standing just behind Wong's center line, a position from which several finishing techniques are possible. Wong knows it. So he stops, but only for a moment. Then comes the sixth exchange. This time Wong commits completely. It is the best technique he has. 20-6 years of practice focused into a single movement. The timing is correct. The power is real. It is a technique he has never seen successfully countered in 14 years of teaching. The strike moves toward Bruce Lee with the confidence of something that has always worked. Bruce does not resist it. Instead, he moves with it, using the momentum of Wong's commitment rather than opposing it. Bruce redirects the force slightly, sending it into a direction Wong's stance cannot support. In the instant where Wong's balance is fully committed and least stable, Bruce applies a controlled throw. Wong's feet lift from the floor. A moment later, he lands on the wooden boards of the training floor with a solid sound that echoes quietly through the room. Wong lies on his back, looking up at the ceiling. He is not hurt. He is fully aware of exactly where he is and exactly how he got there. Around the edges of the room, the 28 students remain perfectly still. Wong's 2 senior students at the doorway haven't moved either. The room holds its silence. 3 seconds. 4.5. Wong's breathing rises and falls slowly as he processes the last few minutes. Minutes that contain more real martial exchange than many practitioners experience in years of training. He knows what it means that he is on the floor. And he understands it clearly. For 26 years, his identity has been built around a certain understanding of martial skill. Now that understanding has just changed. Wong slowly sits up. There is no hurry in the movement, no attempt to hide what just happened. He sits cross-legged on the training floor, hands resting on his knees. Bruce Lee stands about 2 feet away, relaxed again in the same neutral posture he had before the exchange began. For a long moment, Wong simply looks at him. He says nothing. The room says nothing either. Outside, Hong Kong continues being Hong Kong, loud, busy, and completely unaware that inside a quiet warehouse on a Tuesday morning in March 1968, something important has just taken place. Hen Wong Kwok-wai does something no one in the room expects, not even Bruce Lee. Slowly, he places both hands flat on the wooden training floor. Then he lowers his forehead onto the back of his hands. It is the formal bow of complete submission, performed from a seated position. Not a small nod, not a quick acknowledgement. The full gesture. He holds it for 3 seconds, within the traditions of the martial arts world. The meaning of that bow is unmistakable. I was wrong. You were right. Teach me, for a man who has spent 26 years. As an instructor, it is one of the hardest things he could possibly do, but it is also the most honest response available, whatever reasons Wong had for arriving the way he did that morning. He clearly possesses enough integrity to accept the truth when it appears in front of him, rather than pretending the moment on the floor never happened. Bruce Lee watches quietly. There is no triumph in his expression, no sense of victory. Instead, there is a quiet recognition, the look of one genuine practitioner acknowledging another who has just done something genuinely difficult, revising a belief in real time. In front of witnesses. Bruce extends his right hand, palm open. To pull Wong up. Just as a gesture of respect. Get up, Bruce says calmly. You're a serious practitioner. What you did for those 3 minutes, adjusting each time, reading the exchanges, that's harder than most people in this room could do. He pauses briefly. You adapted. That matters more than style. Another moment passes before Bruce continues. If you want to understand why what happened, I'll show you, he adds quietly, not as a student, as a fellow instructor who deserves an honest explanation. Wong looks at the offered hand for a moment, then he takes it and rises. He does not look diminished. He simply looks different, the particular kind of change that happens when a real encounter forces a real adjustment in understanding. He straightens his black uniform and nods. I would like that, he says. For the next 40 minutes. The two men remain on the training floor together. Bruce Lee walks through each of the 6 exchanges slowly, step by step. He explains the principle behind every movement, describing why each response was chosen for that exact moment instead of another option. He explains what signals he read from Wong's body in the fraction of a second before responding. Wong listens with total attention. The kind of attention that comes from someone who has just discovered a gap in 26 years of understanding and now wants to measure its exact shape. Meanwhile, Wong's 2 senior students have quietly moved from the doorway to sit along the wall with the rest of the class. The 28 students watch the lesson with fascination. They know they are witnessing something they will remember for a long time. After 40 minutes, Wong asks 3 precise technical questions about the redirection Bruce used during the first chain punch exchange. Bruce answers each question clearly and completely. There is no vagueness, no hidden explanations, no attempt to maintain mystery around his knowledge. He answers as if Wong is fully capable of understanding the complete explanation, which he is. After the 3rd answer, Wong nods slowly, the nod of someone connecting new information to ideas he already knows and realizing how the combination changes both. 26 years, Wong says quietly, not quite speaking to Bruce and not quite speaking to the room. And I miss this. There is no self-pity in his voice, only observation, a recognition that sometimes a framework becomes so familiar that it stops being questioned. Bruce replies calmly, those 26 years are also why you noticed the difference so quickly. He continues, someone with 2 years of experience wouldn't feel it. They'd just fall down and not understand why. You felt the principle working in real time. He nods slightly. That's harder, but it's also more useful. He says it simply, without any need to impress. Wong receives the statement exactly as it was meant. When it is finally time to leave, Wong pauses near the door and turns back toward Bruce Lee, using the full traditional phrasing. He asks whether Bruce Lee would accept him as a student, not a casual student attending classes. True student. In martial arts culture, that request means something serious. It means a commitment of time, humility, and the willingness to start learning again, even at 43 years old. After 26 years of teaching. It is a request that costs something real to make. Everyone in the room understands that. Bruce studies him for a moment. Then he nods. Yes, he says, one condition. Wong must continue teaching at his own school. His students still depend on him. Whatever he learns here, he must bring back to them. Because knowledge only spreads when experienced practitioners are willing to carry it forward. And a man with 60 students and 26 years of real foundation is exactly the kind of instructor who can introduce something new to a community that needs it. Wong agrees immediately. The arrangement is settled within 30 seconds. No further discussion is needed. Both men understand exactly what they have agreed to for the next 8 months. Wong Kwok-wai trains at Bruce Lee's school every Tuesday and Thursday morning until Bruce's growing involvement in film work eventually changes the school schedule. During that time, Wong never misses a single session. He always arrives first, and he always leaves last. He asks more precise questions than anyone else in the school. The questions of someone with 26 years of experience trying to understand exactly where this new knowledge fits and where it changes what he thought he knew, and Bruce Lee answers every single question completely. Later, 3 of the senior students from Wong's own school would talk about how their teacher returned from those Tuesday and Thursday mornings noticeably changed. They could see it in his technique, but even more in the way he began to teach. He became more willing to question the assumptions behind a technique instead of simply repeating the technique itself. And he showed more patience with students who asked why Not just how. The difference was clear on the final Tuesday morning before the schedule changed. Wong arrived early carrying a small gift. It was a traditional sign of respect from student to teacher, and he presented it to Bruce Lee before the other students arrived. Bruce accepted the gift with the same quiet formality. The two men bowed to each other. The full respectful bow shared between practitioners who have recognized something genuine in one another. After that, they stepped onto the floor for their final regular session, two instructors from very different backgrounds, now exploring the same questions from different directions, which is often the only way those questions can truly be understood. What happened that Tuesday morning in March of 1968, inside a converted textile warehouse in Kowloon, was not really about who won. By the end of the day, both men understood that clearly. What mattered was what happens when a real encounter is met with real honesty. Wong arrived with 26 years of certainty. He left with something even more valuable. 26 years of foundation, plus the understanding of exactly where that foundation ended, and where something larger began. Bruce Lee arrived with a principle. He left with a practitioner who would spend the next 8 months helping him see that principle from the outside, from the perspective of someone experiencing it for the first time. And that is a perspective the creator of an idea can never fully see alone. In the end, both men left with more than they brought with them, which is perhaps the only result that truly justifies a quiet Tuesday morning in March.